Silver Wolf is a early stage exploration company focused in Durango, Mexico. We're focused on our main property, the Ana Maria property, which is just half an hour north of Torreon. Looking at a skarn and a CRD type of target. It's a carbonate replacement deposit of a type of target, looking for high-grade silver. I mean, the Silver Wolf story really needs to be told in conjunction with the Avino story. So Avino has been operating in Durango, Mexico for 54 years. A lot of properties, because of its age and because it's been around for so long, a lot of properties were associated with it. And I've been working for Avino for about 4 years in a technical capacity, so my background is metallurgy and working for Avino. And I noticed, hey, there's all these properties that Avino owns that they're not getting any value for because they're focused on their producing asset. So I went to the boss and said, hey, I think this is best served in its own investment vehicle. So we dusted off one of our companies that's listed on the venture, and we optioned one of the properties in, and I pitched the boss on providing the youth, enthusiasm, and energy to run it. So we were off to the races there. And the association with Avino gives us a number of advantages because we can use the same team. I don't draw a salary from Silver Wolf at all, so it's very efficient from a capital perspective because all the money goes into the ground. We use the same CFO. Our COO of Avino is the VP of Exploration and based out of Durango, Mexico. So we have a very good understanding of the jurisdiction, how to operate, how to run drill programs, how to do permitting, all that sort of thing because of the Avino base. The main shareholder of Silver Wolf is actually one of the largest shareholders of Avino. So it's fantastic to have that crossover. And like I said, it was a property that Avino wasn't getting any value for, and it is best served in its own investment vehicle on the venture. So in university, I did metallurgy. I graduated from UBC, and I took a job in Fort McMurray actually with Shell Oil Company, believe it or not. That was oil sands, so mining and metallurgy there. And it was minus 40 one day, and this was before 2008. And a friend of mine called me up and said, hey, do you want to travel the world and sell mining equipment? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I'm 23 years old, of course. So I was responsible for selling, servicing, installing, commissioning, troubleshooting a specific type of processing equipment at mines all over the world. So I spent time in Argentina and Laos and the Philippines and West Africa. In addition to learning about the equipment that I was installing, I learned about all sorts of the different aspects of mining, from processing to geology. And I really liked that, and I transitioned that role into a mining company, the highest grade silver mine actually in the world at the time. And we started that mill up and shut it down in the Yukon due to low silver price. So I wrote it up and then wrote it down when silver price crashed. So it's interesting to be part of that cycle in a very short period of time. Then went back to school, did my MBA, and got a corporate gig with Avino, where I'm the VP of Technical Services there and focusing on advancing our production asset there. And in my spare time also run Silver Wolf and focus on geology there. So it's quite busy, but we're working with a great team, and that's a big part of it, is working with people that you really like, doing something you enjoy. I don't think there's one thing that you need to look at. I think it's a multiple factors, and multiple things need to come together in order to do well in the resource sector most of the time. Now, you can get lucky on certain cycles for sure, but things that you need to look at, certainly technically there needs to be a good team involved, and you'll hear this all over the place. There needs to be the team involved. You need to have the property. So technically you need to have something of interest in a property that's got some potential. On the corporate side, you need a share structure that makes sense. So there's an opportunity to make money and capital appreciation. You need a team that can access capital because it's a capital intensive business. So, if I'm a new investor, you look at the team. Do they have experience in the jurisdiction? The property? Are there reputable technical people involved? And then share structure. Hey, is it a reasonable share structure that I'm not going to get diluted too much into the future, or the shares are low enough that I'll be able to make some money if something's found? If you believe in something, then stay the course. It's easy to get distracted by the latest and greatest thing, and that's not to knock any of the new products that are on the market. But if you believe in a premise or a theory, then have the courage to see it through. have the courage to see it through the cycle, because all markets are cyclical, and whether you're down or whether you're up, the position will be reversed at some point. So maintain that courage to have the fortitude to see it through. Something that I'm really passionate about, and what really fires me up and gets me up in the morning, is that if we collectively agree as a society that we want to transition to a lower carbon society, then it's a pretty easy mathematical calculation to understand what resources we need. And whether those are battery metals or energy metals, or silver and copper and certainly to some extent gold, then we're going to need a lot of these raw materials. And what I don't think people understand is that especially copper and silver and all of these metals are required to raise the standard of living of the poorest billion people in the world. So if that's something we want to do, and we agree is an important value, that we want to help, like I said, the poorest people in the world to live, the same way that you and I get to live, then we're going to need a lot more raw materials. And how do we do that? How do we do that in the most intelligent way that we can, without impacting or having the least impact on the community and providing the most benefit? That's the discussion that we should be having, as opposed to no mining or some mining. It's how do we have the most benefit and minimize the impact, obviously. I would really, if any of the viewers or listeners are interested, I'd really recommend that they dig into the technical of Silver Wolf. We have some really high-level geologists. Just added a great senior level geologist that found 1.2 billion ounces of silver, a guy by the name of Vic Chevlon, onto our technical advisory board. And if there's any interest there, I would recommend that they review kind of his resume, as well as dig into our technicals a little bit, because there's a really interesting project that we're working on, and we think there's got a lot of potential.